Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie. In tonight's video, I'll be doing my yet again another delayed video review for the newest episode, the most recent episode of Fear the Walking Dead on AMC. It's been a while since I've done my AMC voice, so I hope you'll all oblige me. Uh, so yeah, I just caught up on the most recent episode. So now I am all caught up, and I'm ready for the newest episode, which will premiere later tonight on AMC. Stay tuned, check it out, of course. So before I start blabbering on and talking too much, please be warned, this video review will be full of big spoilers regarding the most recent episode of Fear the Walking Dead. Everything that went down, I will be discussing in great detail, so if you are not caught up, do not keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing spoilers. If you are caught up, great, keep on listening and watching. I hope you'll enjoy what you hear, so you have been warned. That being said, I think I enjoyed this episode a lot more than I did the mid-season premiere than the week before, the one that was called Grotesque. I think I enjoyed it simply because it wasn't all revolved around Nick. I mean, Nick had a big part to play, but we saw our other characters as well, except for Travis and Chris, of course. But something tells me they'll be the main focus of tonight's episode. Well, I don't know if they definitely will be, but it feels like they probably will. But because Strand is my favorite character, it's probably why I enjoyed this episode a lot more, because he brought back a lot of humor and some lighthearted, funny stuff, even though Madison and him got drunk, which in my opinion, is very, very dangerous to do in the zombie apocalypse. I mean, getting drunk is always a little risky, but especially in the zombie apocalypse, when you have these large doors, these sliding doors open all around you, connecting to the outside, and who knows if a herd should be walking by, or if sure enough there are some walkers that are being detained and they hear some noise and then they break out nearby, which of course they do, by the way. I just thought to myself, come on, guys, you're smarter than this. Or maybe you're not. Maybe you have to learn a couple of more hard lessons before you finally start to become true survivors. I don't know. But any point being, I enjoyed this episode a lot more than I did the previous one. I mean, I still liked the last one, but this one was a lot more enjoyable. I am a little worried, though, about Nick's new safe zone community for a couple of reasons. Number one, I thought that in retaliation for Nick putting the local militia on the spot for calling them out on how they need OxyContin, especially for the gang leader's sister, I thought in retaliation they would attack, or at least follow, Nick and Luciana back to their safe zone. And they very well could have, and we just didn't see it. Perhaps an attack is imminent, or maybe they're thinking about just going there, and if they don't destroy the whole place, they'll just rob them of their OxyContin and whatever else they feel like. Because it seems like this, they referred to it as the Colonia, the colony, of course. It doesn't seem like they have much for a fighting force or much of a defense at all. They may have a few lookouts, but they don't have, it doesn't seem like they have a lot of capable fighting people. There's a lot of old folks, a lot of kids, a lot of families. Of course, there's lots and lots of men, so maybe if an attack does come, they'll somewhat be able to defend themselves. I don't know if an attack will come, but it seems likely now that Nick has antagonized the local militia, which makes sense that they used to be the drug dealers, because the drug dealers saw a chance to, in order to ensure their own survival, force other survivors to do trade and exchanges with them, which is what they're doing, of course. They allowed people in exchange for something that you have that they want. They let you shop in their store. Win-win situation. Although it was extremely risky, if not noble of Nick, to steal that candy bar for that poor little girl, which is another thing. I thought to myself, oh God, what is this now? Because clearly the opening scene was them presenting this human sacrifice, this guy, to a nearby herd, and everybody seemed to be going along with it except for the little girl, his daughter, of course. And I don't know what the thinking was behind that. And then later when they explained, oh, this is what we do. we decide that the people who are dying are going to be the ones who are presented to the dead in order to ensure our own safety so that the dead don't break through our walls. Okay, so this guy was apparently dying. We don't know what he was dying of, if anything. And they sacrificed him to the walkers so that the walkers don't in turn attack the community out of hunger. I guess that makes sense, although I do not agree with it at all. But this community, which seems to be kind of brainwashed by its leader, the pharmacist, it seems like he's under the impression that they are the God's new chosen people. Like they're the ones who have been spared the apocalypse. That once the dead are all wiped out, the world will be renewed, in his words. And he probably believes he's a chosen one or a leader of the chosen people because, as we saw in his shoulder, like Luciana told Nick, who was skeptical, as am I, he survived a walker bite. The guy may have had something happen to him, and he could just be flat out lying to Luciana and everybody else in the colonia that he survived a zombie bite, when in reality he just had another nasty injury happen to him. On the other hand, a walker very well could have scraped its teeth along his skin, and maybe he took a knife or something and like stabbed himself in the shoulder and like dug out this chunk of flesh or something. I don't know. I'm sure we'll get an explanation sooner or later. I just find it unlikely, very hard to believe that he actually survived a walker bite, because in the history of The Walking Dead, nobody survives a walker bite. You're either eaten alive, or if you survive the initial bite, you later die and then turn, and then you're a walker. And Fear the Walking Dead has also not done that either yet. They haven't shown that nobody's survived a walker bite, so we'll see. Something else I really enjoyed about this episode was that it was very reminiscent. The final couple minutes where, you know, the walkers start falling out of the hotel of Alicia's trying to find Ophelia, and I'm kind of worried about where Ophelia is, because they don't show what happened to her, if something happened to her, and obviously she's not feeling too hot right now because, you know, she just lost her dad and she's feeling kind of helpless and hopeless, which is understandable. However, I was really hoping she wouldn't go into this self-pity downward spiral and she, you know, maintains being a strong character. But who knows? Maybe that's what they'll do to her. But anyway, I really liked the final couple the final couple minutes where the walkers attack the bar, and it was extremely reminiscent of the scene towards the end of Shaun of the Dead, where Shaun and his friends are in the bar and they're fighting off the huge, massive horde of zombies that have surrounded the place. This scene in this episode of Fear reminded me of that, of Strand and Madison, you know, fighting off the walkers and then becoming trapped behind the bar, very much like Shaun of the Dead. So that was, I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but as a zombie fan, I very much enjoyed that scene because it was so reminiscent of my favorite movie, Shaun of the Dead. But great episode. You know, they continue to raise the stakes, and like the first 8 episodes, I do believe that this show gets better with each passing episode, so I'm sure tonight's episode will be just as good, if not better. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode review of Fear the Walking Dead. I am now officially caught up, I am pleased to report, and I will be ready to resume watching it on a regular basis along with the rest of you. Don't forget that it premieres every Sunday night on AMC with new episodes. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more coverage and review videos on Fear the Walking Dead and countless other shows and film franchises. Check out my Facebook page in the description down below. I think you'll like what you see. Alright guys, have a great rest of the night if I don't see you again, and of course until next time, may the Force be with you.